When we're talking about the hip hinge, there's a few key elements that we can work on setting up here. First, you're looking at me just adjusting my feet accordingly. Some people are going to like them straight. Some people, it's a little bit easier if you turn them out. It's just based on your anatomy, and it's all specific to you. So give a little test. The next little thing is you'll see that I pressed on my rib cage. As I breathe out, I'm kind of pushing that down in a way, or just depressing my rib cage to make sure that my torso can stay stiff through the movement. As that bar goes down my leg and it's scraping right along my thigh and my shin here, my butt shoots backwards. Now that is the difference between a hip hinge and a squat. And you'll see this from the side here. As I bend down, my booty shoots back, and I just build tension right along my hamstring and what we call our posterior chain. The other kind of element that you notice there is I have a nice little angle to my back. That's the key purpose of working with the hip hinge, especially when we start to pick up weight. Here's another variation you can do. I'm just allowing the dowel to stick to my head, my mid-back, and right along my tailbone area. And then the element or cueing that I have here is, again, I'm just pushing my hips back into that bottom spot. Again, I'm depressing the rib cage there. You see that from the side. And once again, we're just building tension along the back part of your legs. Okay. Another way we can do this, or you're actually going to see this from the front side, a lot of people tend to have a little bit more of a problem with this if they have a hard time with mobility in their back, being able to get into this position. So this is kind of why I'm showing you multiple different variations of this. It just makes it a little bit easier to choose the one that's best for you. And so we'll put dowel down there. And then next thing you can do, you can grab a long resistance band. And I'm going to step through that with it behind me. It takes a little bit of practice and I'll say gumption to get this right, because I'm going to cross the band. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring that up behind me. So you may want to start with actually a lighter band. I chose kind of like a medium resistance, light to medium resistance. This band allows me to get that cueing to push my hips back, because the band obviously is getting tighter as I'm bending over. And that you could see how that allows me to get a lot more hip flexion and bend over a little bit further without rounding my low back. I actually really do like this one, especially as you're starting to get the reps in and kind of get a feel for what this hip hinge feels like. And again, you're just seeing a front view here of that. And one other little aspect that we can use to help out with the hip hinge is we can use a sturdier setup. It looks a little MacGyvered here, but essentially I want something very heavy that's not going to move this chair. And so my objective is I'm pushing my shins into the seat as my butt shoots back. Again, just another really good way to work on those reps with the hip hinge.